Jacob Jensen Design is Scandinavia's oldest, most award-winning, and most produced design firm consultancy. We are founded in Copenhagen in 1958. We have worked in almost any creative field, from branding, and architecture, and urban planning, and industrial design, and product design, and consumer design, graphic design, very broad, and will be 60 years in 2018. I think we are very value-driven, but I think in general Scandinavia, where Denmark is a part of Scandinavia, is a very value-driven area in this world. And it seems to that when you're value-driven or you got your values sorted out, things works better. We have developed over 50 years some methods, a way that we design a process which has proven successful. And some of the designs most of the designs that we have made last for 5, 10, 50 years, 25 years. And that is one way of thinking about sustainability. Oh, we're going to make a new model for next spring. No, let's make something which is really well done and which lasts for a long, long time. I think if one was going to say, what is the Scandinavian design philosophy? For me, it comes out of the values in the society. Everybody is equal. Everything is free, just that you pay over 50% in tax. School, university, roads, hospitals, everything is free because we all pay our tax. And I think out of having such a society, a lot of great things emerges, not just design, art, a lot of things comes out of that. So I think we say that our values when we make design is pure, perfect, and enduring. When we work on design, that's what we want to achieve. It's impossible to achieve, but that's the goal when we create something. You could say that the Scandinavian design values could be honest, caring, and peaceful. You could say it's true. And some would say it's functional, it's ergonomic, it's sustainable, but not necessarily. I think that is something that has been constructed around it. But it's normally good. You can often feel that it's passionate, that it was important. And you know, design is like music and food. You can always tell when a piece of music is written because of love instead of because of money. Oh, we're going to produce a hit for next month. You can always hear that, right? But if somebody really wrote a piece of music where they were in love, then you can hear it. Don't open a restaurant to make money. Open a restaurant to make food. Money will come. So that honesty, I think, is hopefully embedded in most Scandinavian design thinking. I mean, the Bauhaus tradition said that the form follows function. So here's a function doing something, and then you design around that function. There's nothing wrong or incorrect in that. It's just 100 years old and banal. It's also banal to say that things should be sustainable. Of course they have to be sustainable. So I think there's more to add. Here's a coffee pot. And it can have coffee in there. Come on, right? It's got to be something else to it. We say that form follows feelings. There has to be that emotional attachment. It has to turn you on. It has to be sexy. It has to be surprising. It has to be reassuring, caring, exciting, and inspiring. That is how we try to merge, if you want to put it that way, merge function and design. And you can say everything which is man-made, woman-made, is design. Everything is. This thing here, this brick here, is designed. Some of them are better than others, depends on the time, the culture, and so forth. But everything that we do is design. Design is the cultural word for evolution. I think Philips has a good line. I think Philips makes terrible design, but they do. But they say, let's make things better. And I even think they say together, but let's make things better implies together. There's something very nice in that. I think the more different products you design, the more inspiration you get. If you sit and make vacuum cleaners, design vacuum cleaners every day for the next 35 years, you're going to make some really boring vacuum cleaners. But if you work, on Mondays you work on toothbrush, and on Wednesday on vacuum cleaners, and on Fridays on urban design or whatever, you get that inspiration from working in different fields. I think is very important for all of us, not just designers, but everybody needs that different impulse and that different inspiration. Of course, you also have to be a professional, so you've got to have a method. So it's healthy for me to sing. I just don't know how to do it. That's not going to get me very far. And of course, I know and our team knows how to make design. Design is like cooking or building or whatever. It's a process, it's a trade, it's a craft. So when you have that method, then it's relatively easy because you have a process how to approach the problem. Somebody wants you to design a new sink or a new coffee machine or a new vacuum cleaner, then you have a process. And I think you get inspiration while you're sleeping, when you're in the shower, when you're in the traffic, when you're walking the forest. I don't think you could say, I always get inspiration on Wednesdays when I see something pink or whatever. Inspiration comes from living life, if you ask me. I think for us, when we design things, we try to make them pure, perfect, and enduring. That's some of the we want to make something that people love and people buy, and that they're going to be happy for a long time. It's hopefully reassuring, caring, and exciting. But it's not a religion for us because there could be a situation where something else is required. I think everything should be honest and caring and peaceful. God, that sounds a little boring. Where are the Vikings in this, right? So I don't think we have a set of rules that we will not waver from, but I think it lives in our culture. Some of the things I just said, pure, perfect, and enduring, and honest, caring, and peaceful, should somehow be embedded, or some of these words should be embedded into a design. But I think the most important is that any design, any product, any solution is reassuring and caring and exciting and inspiring. I would love to have such a meal. I would love to have such a piece of music. I would love to have such a girlfriend. I would love to have such a dog. I would love to have such a car that does that for me. And of course, with artificial intelligence, there's already here, by the way, but there's coming more and more. The products will get more and more intelligent, and I like them to have some of those characteristics. You could say that exciting and inspiring can lead to many emotions and many directions. But yes, I think there are some things that has to be harmonized in this world. That is equal rights for all of us. No corruption. No poor. No really rich, by the way. There are some set of moral ethics that, to me, applies to all of us. So you could say that would be harmonizing somehow for all of us. And I think that design and creative education, the creative industry, can contribute to that harmonizing. The design process for us is not a piece of art. Design is not art. Design is a service for the industry. A lot of people has a lot of arty-farty stuff about design. There is a lot of things within the design world that has parallels to the artistic world. Some of the working methods resembles some of the things that you do in arts, but design is a super commercial service for the industry, to say it roughly, or to say it direct. For us, there comes a client to us. If I'm going to describe a design process, the client comes to us. We make an agreement on what we're going to make. We make sure we get our money. So they always pay up front. Not all of it, 45%, 35%, 25%. If that makes 100%, I can't remember. And that is one of the things that we want to teach young talents here in the Philippines, how to run a design studio and not get run over by the industry. Then we, together with the client, we define what is this. We're going to make a new vacuum cleaner, a new fire extinguisher, whatever, a product, a solution. Then we make 3 concepts. You can say a triangular one, a round one, and a square one. Speaking in metaphors, we always build models. It takes 8 weeks, and then we present it. What do you think? You like this one, or that one? Very often they like not just one, they like maybe a merger of it. And then we rework that. And we make the minutes, and we all agree what are we going to do for the next 6 weeks. And then we get closer to the goal. We present it again. Then you make final adjustments, and then you go into the product development and prototyping phase. So in the beginning, it's a lot about us, and at the end, it's a lot about the client who's actually going to manufacture it. We also help them if they want to do launches. A lot of clients see a benefit in using our name when they promote company XYZ is selling product 1, 2, 3 designed by Jacob Jensen. That can sometimes help the launch. So we actually hold hands together all the way through the process. I think all of us should make sure that our life doesn't become our jobs. And it's great when life is so, when our work and our jobs are so interesting that we are passionate about it. It's not about from 7 to 4, from 9 to 5 or whatever. I personally enjoy other things than work. I love nature. And every designer says that. I'm not sure nature gives me any inspiration because they all say that's the inspiration. I just like to be in nature, alone. I have 2 dogs and a cat. He goes with me sometimes, so I walk 1 hour every day, and I'm the only one in that nature. That is just good for me, of course, for my fish, but also for my brain. I cook, obviously. I love cooking. I think that's a great process. Then I do a little bit of sports. I mountain bike. I sail. I love sailing. And then I chase girls. That's about it. We have done a favorite piece. My answer would be we haven't made that yet. And we have made, I think, over 1,000 designs in the last 60 years. So to say it's this one or that one, it's very difficult. I might have a top 25 of things that we've done, but I don't have one like, oh yeah, that's the one. We haven't made that yet. Well, I'm still a young man, so it's a difficult question to answer, but I guess, but I think we are all designing every day. So are you. Because what is design? It's making things, it's finding solutions. And I think we will do that to the end of our lives. So I don't have, when I turn 65, I'm going to retire. I think I'll always be active and doing things. It's not a goal for me. I want to win another award. I want to do another piece. It's just a lot of fun, and we're relatively good at it. This is what we do. That's where I see it. It's learning every day throughout your life. But it's an apprenticeship. It's like the shoemaker. He shows his son how to make shoes, or the baker shows his daughter how to bake bread. That's what we're doing. We're passing on know-how, competence, knowledge, and through that, we are teaching young talents how to run great Filipino design studios and build great Filipino brands. That's why we're doing it. We have decided to open up studios together with universities in the so-called emerging markets, sounds like somebody from the West came up with that term. Sorry about that. We don't want to open up in the US or in Germany or in Japan. We want to open up in the emerging markets or the new markets or whatever you want to call it, the fresh world, you would call it. And I believe the Philippines belong to that. Through some connections, the Swedish king and our chairman, Mr. Lars Kolin, the Danish embassy here, it turned out to be that the Philippines is the third place that we want to open up a studio outside of Denmark, where we originate from.
Yeah.
And then you could of course add more, because the Filipino are so reassuring, caring, exciting, and inspiring. And there's 100 million people here on these exotic islands in the Pacific Ocean. So there is an enormous potential here. The only ones who doesn't believe in it is the Filipino.